Hello, welcome to another episode of the GNPS, Uchenera Lunjiniela. And I'm out here at Afro's Chicken. So today's episode is proudly brought to you by Afro's Chicken. And here to enjoy the chicken along with me is my next guest. He goes by the name of PDogg. Welcome to the podcast, bro.
Yeah, PDogg Amazing. Please say the amazing.
Yeah, PDogg Amazing. Don't forget the amazing.
It's good to be out here. Good to be out here on GNPS.
Bro, like you somebody that I've been hitting up for a while.
Yeah. I've been in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Bro. So that was always the obstacle. I remember even it was during the lockdown where we first got to link up, guys, like that, because Nama was pumping a whole lot of stuff. And Nama, you know, as an artist, you sort of like, you make them know that you're there.
Yeah.
GNPS, so I'm trying to make myself know, yo, I'm here too, dog.
Yeah.
My jinkinga is that I was in Joburg, I couldn't get down here. But yeah, I'm here now.
You out here. I'm glad you're still alive, homie.
Yeah, dog.
Considering the way everything is going with the COVID situation, I feel like that's one thing that we take for granted is to be thankful that we're still here.
Yeah, definitely. It was very difficult for artists, I think, especially like a recording artist like myself. Like I'd sort of gotten to a momentum where I sort of lived and existed around studio.
Yeah.
So when it goes boom, lockdown, all of that is over.
Yeah.
Your routine, like you start thinking twice about, yo, dog, I'm gonna go to this mic, they're spitting, it's just spitting. He's spitting literally and figuratively. Now it's corona, man, you know.
Yeah,
so I think I was just blessed in that I was around umuntu who he just has, like, he's interested in music, so he just has a studio, you know. He didn't record music. I was the first person who was like making him record music all the time. He didn't have lots of clients who were coming around, so I had a special privilege of just being like the only person who was recording with him, you know. Because also, for me, it's difficult to record like on my own, because before lockdown, I didn't have the skills to maintain my own session completely to the level that I can appreciate the sound, you know. Because I always have this thing that in order for you to part of creating, you must have a vision of the final product. And we all know the difference in music between what you create and then what you get after it's mixed and mastered or whatever. So when you're in the studio, sometimes I expect you to be able to give me a mix of my voice that sounds very close to the final product so that I can understand how I really need to deliver it. Because you end up making a song and when you hear the master, you're like, it doesn't even sound like you understand. I could have done that, but I have regrets.
Yeah.
So I'd gotten into like a momentum where I was just like, I need to at least hear something very close to it, you know? So when I deliver it, it's going to reach where I want it to reach. So, yeah, that's why I wasn't able to record myself. So, yeah, that's how I survived during lockdown as a studio addict.
You had to tend to your natural habitat of just creating.
Yeah, I had to, man. And it was even, like, it was difficult because, like, artists have lives too, you know, and
families.
COVID and families. So COVID really opened up even that aspect. Like we all have this sort of like rock star thing about us where we just try to seem or live lives that don't seem like they're attached to anything. We're floating, we create, and we just do whatever. But like artists have families too. So it was very, very difficult for me to manage that part of like comforting my parents to the extent like, yo, dog, like, because I was living with my parents during COVID. When the lockdown came, I'm like, yo, my mother can't be alone. Let me go live with her. I went to my mother's place. So it's difficult for me to make comfortable. Yo, when I'm gone, I'm not going to go really. I'm being safe, you know. As much as I seem chilled, but as much as I don't panic when I see the news or whatever, because that's not who I am. I'm not a panicky person, you know. I'm a person who digests things and then I act based on that. So it was difficult as well, but we made it through, man. Look at us now. We still got our masks. We're still keeping us safe. We're good, yeah.
That's what matters, bro. Life.
Yeah.
Let's go back. PDogg Amazing. You know, your mom didn't name you PDogg. Like,
Yeah.
You earned that name by doing a certain thing, you know.
Yeah. PDogg, I can tell you, ufuna PDogg, ngikutshela ngoXolani.
Ngifuna uXolani, because uXolani is the one that gave us PDogg.
Hey, ngazalwa nguXolani, King Edward, just down the road
Hey,
actually.
shit, right down the road.
Right down the road. uXolani, we know according to culture, it used to be when like the lady's young and she has a kid, usuxolisa kwabazali. So
Yes.
my mother's mad young, you know what I mean? So when I grew up with my uncle because at the time when my mother had to go to school or whatever. Mkhulu nomalume uhlala la, we were living in Queensborough.
Yeah.
When I was born, sasihlala eMlazi, but we moved real quick. There was a whole lot of violence. Like one of my mother's brothers, older brother, he was a gangster, yeah, boy. He was
Oh,
involved
shit.
in all that gang shit. He lost his life, yeah, boy. So I think when I look at it now, mature me, my grandmother was like, yo, we need to get out of here. So we moved to Queensborough. I grew up there, man. I went to North Dean. I started school mad early. I was a smart kid, man. I knew how to read and write by the age of like 4.
You were always the youngest in class.
I was always the youngest. Like I didn't go to the school next to my house because when I first went there, they were like, I was too young. Like there's some law that said that kid is too young. He has to wait another year. I wasn't having it. My parents weren't having it, and my uncle was like, he was drilling me most of the time. Like that was the one relationship that we sort of had. It's educational, you know.
Oh, so your uncle was basically the influence.
He was putting me in books. Like basically, how I grew up, I didn't grow up like around friends. I didn't have like friends in the community who I used to go and visit or whatever. And Valley Queensberg, if you know it, it's very quiet corner. So I wasn't allowed basically to go outside. And me being inside, I can't be watching TV all day. So it was a book.
Yeah.
When my books run out, it's never an excuse that you can never run out of books because what do you do? Oh, they finished. I'm okay. Geza, boom. We walk to Malvan Library.
Yeah.
We get 4 more books. We come back. Yeah, but so it was never an excuse. So I used to live eating books. Yeah, bro. That's how I know, like, that. And also, he was very, like, big on education. Yeah, bro. He was very big on education. You know, we didn't have the best relationship other than that. But the one thing that he gave me that, like, always helps me is that he always, like, education. He made sure that I was there and my mind took to it, you know. God, you know, my mind took to it. And I knew how to read and write by 4. My first school didn't let me in. He went to the hospital, did some things. They made immunization certificates.
Oh,
they said my
shit.
birth certificate was missing, but there's an immunization, and that one had me a year. You know,
Older.
a year. No, it was months. Like I think your birthday had to be before May or something. But I'm in August. So they changed the months of my birth. Then they allowed me to go inside that school.
Shit.
Kabanga. So that's how, Kabanga at school, and it was a white kid school, Kabanga, like it was a white sort of Model C school. That's how I learned how to speak very good English, and because I was smart, I was in the A class. That's how they used to split it back in the day. They used to split one class where all the smart kids were. So I was in the A class now. The messed up thing is that I'm the only black kid now in the A class, you know. But even though I'm in the A class, I'm still living where all the other black kids live. I still take the train or walk because we spent our money on sweets or umshini. Like I still live. Those are the people who I live with. But now it started causing friction now because it's like I'm a sellout because I'm always with the white kids. I speak like the white kids. I'm smart. We make the same jokes as the white kids, you know what I mean? Like, even my accent, I remember when I got to Johannesburg, that's after grade 7. When I got to Johannesburg, grade 8, I talk like a surfer, you know? How's it, British? Like, that's how I used to speak, and I got teased for that like crazy, like, because like I'm this Durban kid who just got to the school in Johannesburg now, and it was also sort of like a Model C school, because by then my mother had put in hard work, like, she'd got a good job, she was able to put us in a private school, like, that time that was off in terms of like finances and stuff, she made it, she covered the ground, you know? So I'm at a private school. Yo, dog, I used to tease horribly, man. This thing. How's Pumlani, bro?
Oh, shit.
Mind you, Pumlani, I forgot to mention this. Because I'm in a white school in primary, I was having trouble with grade 1, grade 2.
They couldn't say that.
My grandmother was alive at the time. She's like, no, let's not have another English name. So Pumlan, and then they got added somehow to Kamalam, Pumlan. So from school, and then by a virtue of everyone that you know was from school, Upumlan. So Uxolani was Ukhaya. type of thing. There's not many people on the streets who know me
No,
as
Xolani.
Bazo Pumlani, if they don't know PDogg.
Yeah.
So that's how I became Pumlani. The rest of primary school from like grade 2, go Pumlani. And then mang figured Goli, man. Yo, Pumlani, yo. I used to get it bad, man. I used to get it bad.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have struggled to say Xolani. Xolani,
And
bro.
also, this guy's coming with this. He's a black kid. He's coming with this surfer accent, you know. Like he's just cause, like, yo, man. Like, if you've been outside of Durban, for the people who watch GNPS outside of the city, like, if you've been outside of Durban and you come and you hear people speak in Barra, Queensberg, you know, it's like another planet, you know. Like, the way, so I got there like fresh out of that, chilling with the white boys who all were conjuring their motorcycles at home with their dads about Kumba all day. Yeah, and you come into this environment, just a goalie, where now it's like, it's a Model C thing. So there was a big influence of hip hop in my high school, dog. One of the first things that I experienced in Figure High School was that it was a break. I think it was second break, chilling, I didn't really have friends. And all of a sudden, the whole school sort of like goes, all the kids, they were going to one corner of the fields. Hayibo, kwenzakalani? I know, nami ngihambe ngilandele ngiyobheka ukuthi kwenzakalani la. Mengifika lapha ngisonthele
Yo.
whoa! The crowd yahlanya. I was like, what? I'm a cipher, dog.
Yes,
Your culture in school.
This is grade what?
High school, yeah.
You're doing grade 8.
Grade 8, yeah. I'm a cipher, dog. It was a big culture. Everyone knew about them. To the extent where they knew there's a blind. It was established, the culture. And the way that it got so established that it ended up getting banned, Eskela, because, like, sometimes in a cipher, like, it used to break out into fights. Things used to get too personal.
Niggas get
cipher. Like, that's how deep of a culture it became in my school. It got banned. And it was so big that even though it got banned, you know how young people are who are like intelligent. Like, I love that school because like all the people who went to school there are like smart. I still know them to this day. We have this culture. I don't know what it is, but like they're a special kind of people. Like they found a way to rebel against the system. So even though I can't diss you at the cipher, it became now rife with my class in man. They go like this one. It's just one line. That's all and it's like, who said that? Who said that? One line, and they played it. And then they even ended up banning dissing. We never heard of something like that. At my school, dissing was banned. Like, you could not disrespect someone
else,
like overtly like that, where it's like, yo, when I ganja, detention or suspension. You couldn't just do that. Like, that's how deep that it was. So that was my first like
exposure to like
hip hop
in real life.
And literally my first. But
wait now music. Okay, so you never had time for music because you're too busy with the books, right?
No ways, bro. All day. There's only so much you can read.
Yeah.
You need other stimulants around. Ankela, he had a very healthy CD collection. So his music ended up. I'm sure you've experienced it. When someone plays a song next to you, even though you didn't play it, after 7 days, you'll also know that song.
So
soul music, oh Boys to Men. Someone really stood up as Tracy Chapman, Abo Sade, some Westlife, jazz. That's it. Abo, no gospel.
No hip hop, no
kwaito, no, just that genre of R&B and soul. That's what he was, you know, in terms of music. So that's what I grew up consuming, bruh. Like, I had no exposure to hip hop because even mang figure scale, into Nazam, the little Limp Bizkit, Limp Bizkits, abo U2, you know, like these white kids, you know what I mean? Like,
they rock heads.
Yeah, for real, like that's what they're listening to. So that was my, and also the number 3, it's also very important that stood out was my family was Lutheran. So more as a Malutsela, Ukulu is a very big part of Kwanzaa. So, and I'm a Lutsela. One of the most like golden like experiences of my childhood, one of my favorite moments of my childhood that still stand out to this day was when it's a big family function and there's like 300 people and kuculwa iculo elilodwa, and amongst these 300 people wonke umuntu ungena kwiharmony yakhe, uyabhena, kuyablenda, it means iphuma yonke lemicanga uze the power of music, yabo.
Yo.
That used to overwhelm me. I used to enjoy that. Like, it used to be fun for me because I used to, like, now it became a game for me. Let me try different parts. So I'd sing like the first verse with the basses, and then when the second verse comes, I'd try to sing with the tenors.
Yeah.
Da, da, da. And then when it got, you know, the part at the end, I tried to go, no, go, you know, soprano, like, to the point where I started creating my own parts now that no one else is singing, and then if I can just come like this, and then it blends, come on, yo, so I used to like that. That stood out a lot for me musically. That really, I think that was a very big influence.
It was a huge stimulant.
Yeah, it wasn't very often, I won't lie, like, Muntu rebelled against church, but like, there was a lot of family functions. My family in those days was very close. There was always something happening where we would come together. So every month, sometimes month after month, we were very, very close. There was always something happening. So
you know, since you're speaking about family, in your song Zbondiwe,
yeah,
I think you speak about that.
Yeah.
Like when ukuthi function is Zbondiwe, wonke umuntu lana.
Yeah, that's exactly what that song is about, bro. Like,
and that's what I like about your music, bro. That you touch on elements that I feel like as a society have lost sight on, because even like that feeling of being around people abagini, you know, there's some. It doesn't matter ukuthi nihlangane ngani.
Everyone's happy. Oh, musakhumbula. Everyone is just. Yeah, so that, like, it made a big impact. It made a big impact. And for me, going back to that now, If Futurama was all about that for me. I was trying to kumbuza abantu ukuthi ikhona content yethu. Yabo izinto zethu where we can tell stories about things like this. And umuntu wangaphandle will be like, what? Oh, okay, that's how it feels. We're like, oh, okay, it's a party. Okay. But like, there's so many levels and elements that we experience in our own ways that we can express. And it's not just like imcimbi or whatever. It's like even the simplest things about like how we chill. Like, people don't appreciate how unique they are. You know? You don't think that what you're doing is special. Yabo? Maybe because no one has like affirmed it. No one stands on a mountain and is like, yo, what you're doing is special. That conversation, that joke you made yesterday, the way you came in, your greeting, your handshake, the way you guys wear your clothes, the way you get, how many times you roll up your sleeves, the amount of beers, the way you pass your beer, the way you open your beard, the way you comb your hair, the way everything, like, no, there's no one telling people that, yo, dog, what you're doing is like, it's dope, yabo. So I think I'm artist-minded, like, they that's why they end up getting too attracted to try and replicate Intabayibonayo overseas now, because they can't appreciate Bona themselves. Yabo. So that was just me sort of opening that gate up and showing people inside. Umuntu lalelayo, who doesn't understand maybe where South African hip-hop or trap is at, like, but what need does it satisfy? Okay, you guys are doing the same thing as the Migos, so okay, we can just listen to the Migos. But like, where's the sipisikhala seni la nifeni ngene sona masenifike lapho akekho umunye umuntu wazongena anikudluze, sort of there. Yeah, but that was all about. That's what my main mission of If Futurama. Listen to the title, Future, the future of South African music. That was my main mission, to show with guys there's other ways for us to approach this thing. Still be mnandi, you know, and open up a whole new universe, and affirm. I don't want to say affirm ourselves. It makes it sound very vain. It just affirm what we do.
Yeah,
because it's not about the service, but the action. It's affirm what we do as artists in terms of creating. Affirm the creation and make people understand who are listening with, yo, dog, what these guys doing are dope, and make even fellow artists understand with, yo, there's method in the madness.
True.
Yeah, bro.
True.
So yeah, man, that's what I wanted to show Abba into. It's yo, man, you're dope, bruh. Like your own life is dope. Don't try to look too far, though. Those small things, like that's how I make music, man. Dog.
Yeah.
I make music by just living. Like I just keep quiet and I listen. You know, go outside and I sit on that corner and I listen to what the guy who's washing the car is saying to his friend. Hey, say, oh shit, that's dope. And that's how my mind works. It'll just somehow, a melody will come somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I used to spend a lot of time walking. Like Langhlala Kone Queensberg, one of the wackest things that I still don't like, even namanje. But I understand it's merit somehow.
Basi Queensberg mabezo khuluma kanje.
Dog, being real, dog. And if you know me and if you're getting to know me, this is how I am.
Yeah. No, I mean like but I mean that's your experience with the place.
I love Queensberg,
You know.
but I spent a lot of time away from Queensberg, like trying to get away from it because everything was too slow. Everything was too slow. I think that helped me a lot. That's what made me able to work nabantu abaningi and just be everywhere because it used to frustrate me just to be in Queensberg. So back to the ukutholakala wakhona. Lasihlala khona is like Istobu is like almost 3 kilometers from my house. So
you gotta
ngifike
walk.
and intaba ebheke kanje. People know who've given me a lift home, who visited me. Hey, it's not a place that you wanna ibheke kanje leya ndawo leyana. But what it did give me is that before Walkman, earphones all the time was a thing. Like I just walk and I'm in my mind, you know. So I can start like let my mind play about whatever it was playing. When I was young in primary school, it was a lot about art because I was in the choir. I was acting a lot. In primary school, I was the youngest main actor in a big play that they had. I was the only person in the grade with a script. I remember, dog.
You created a script, dog.
No, who had like who won the primary? If you're a grade 3, it's all script. It's not a script.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's script. Minang solid not yo. Go mang no line is script. I was a very important character, and I was the only person in my grade. But when keeping a similar class in, it was okay. Rehearsali, hey, Pumulani, that's right. The song actor cool. That was a very big part of me, and then also music. Our choir became very strong. Very strong. Mr. Kirby, there was a guy who played the piano. God bless his soul. He was a person who actually opened up key or shy combination. Like what's it? Music is gonna take you one day, boy. He was that person, Jay, for me. To the point where my primary school even ended up recording a CD. Koni CD and Gwilo CD wakuliskole sonke. And what used to happen is that the really gifted kids, there were like 5 of them, about Pambili, about the main Master Gubai, the crowd, okay. I was one of the ones that were like Pambili,
so you had a solo, you had a lead.
Yeah, I'm the one who was trusted with Sibambe, melody, harmony, ban. But I was like, I was a special talent. I don't want to blow my own horn, but I understand that I was blessed.
So you pretty much understood from a very early age
I've got a gift, bro. I've got a gift. I don't know what it is, but like I saw when I got to high school, because when I got to Sacred Heart, then I found real actors. Right? People who send shivers down your spine. 14, wow. And I saw I'm not gonna make it here. You know, I'm good, but I'm not exceptional. And if I do something, then I gotta be exceptional at it for me to stand out.
Also, that's how you saw what you need to focus on music.
My friend, Pambata. Pambata, he just lost his mom's, but I used to always go to his house. He used to record music. I was just interested in music. I know the choir was like the closest thing I got to creating music, and choir, you just sing other people's songs. But he used to invite me. He was like my homie, so he was my sleepover. Just in the studio, he had a recorder. So I used to be there watching, like fascinated by this thing. I record the Pambata. But even then I still had this thing with Isha, I like to be part. So being part for me at that time meant to go, yo, B, what if you try saying that like that? It would sound dope. Oh, B, that's dope. But what if you add, yo, damn. One day, I think I just got on his nerves, like, yo, dog, why don't you stand up and you come and do this thing? Dog. It's like, hey, dog, today you're recording. Dali paper, what you miss, you don't have nothing. You can show tayo. Everything you want us here, pala, you're recording a pan. Ish. I'm getting through the land. So that's how I started making music. It was grade 10.
So what's the first song you made?
It's called I'm a Fool With It.
Hey!
Fool with it, such a fool with it. Click, clap, blah, blah, I do with it.
Hey!
Some gangster, yo. Listening to a lot of 50 Cent. He's my favorite rapper at the time.
What I want to say.
Listening to a lot of 50 Cents, you know. But Upi, like, he was the person who's opened he's the person who taught me hip hop. Ang yazi hip hop kapandali amchitsa face because baptism of fire futhi, because he had so much info, and at that time they had access to the internet, and it was like they were getting the shit first, and it's like what? And it's like so Upi.
This is what year now? What year is this?
Grade 10.
Yeah. Oh.
Grade 10. I'm 15 at the time because I was always still younger than everyone. I was always the youngest in my grade. I was always still young, but I always chilled with the older people because even as a lokshin, because at the good school, but it was in like in almost a lokshin environment. Yeah. So that was my education at hip hop. It's yo dog. That's when I started being introduced to people other than my first CD that I listened to was Ja Rule, Pain Is Love.
Oh.
Yeah, first hip hop CD I own yasalagmina somehow, but that's looking at repeat. Damn, yeah, boy. So already like my understanding of music was like hip hop, rap was that there needs to be some kind of a melody pagat. That's what makes it nice. Gang bears, yo,
always on time.
Ucharo mula stuff sake, imelodi ayifake. Nalokho yabo ikhona bethi melody bethi ufake melody, and for me I was like wow, that it gave it another dimension for me. And I was never, like I told you in high school, but the whole beatbox culture, the whole
that was happening,
the whole cypher thing, I ended up becoming a part of it through Upi now. And how it happened, Upi was the sickest. He still is for me, sickest the MC. You can never think of freestyle again. Umuzik yayiphumela again. And at that age, in the sixth grade, I was grade 9 at that time. Mina gangrola naye because I was always good at beatboxing.
Oh.
Ngayifaka kanjalo ukuthi ish mangase ngifuna.
Now I'll pick up his skill.
Ngabona abantu abasithanda lespan. Kodwa mangase ngishaye lespan sibe blind. Angisali both days being busy. Nangempela it happened, and how I set myself apart, not because I do gymnastics, I just always added a melody to my beats.
Oh shit.
So it was not always about I go and now it becomes more of a so people used to like it cypher namparathi yabo. So Upi, because we were in the same class, we are rapper, we are beatboxer, so in the cyphers, I was a beatboxing guy, dog. I was never the guy who could like
step up to the
like rap that hard, you know. And I always used to be around B. Like if that thing was like in me, like Upi, suspect lang looking every day fuck man, like. This is not ubizo lami ukuthi ngidissect amagama for abantu and bakhombise ukuthi amagama aza kanje amagama wordplay ban. That's not where my gift lies. But same way that it happened with the beatboxing, you know, when something works for you in your life, you try it again. When I started recording at B, I'd come home and I tell my brother, what? I was in the studio, nigga.
So you flexing when you
I flex on that nigga. I flex on him. So I know umuntu was ukuthi mebona into ayidedicate kuyona. Next thing umfundo was save a room, just the studio. He's alone. But I saba in the studio edladleni. Sazama producer. Umfundo is my little brother. Usai. I want to produce a lot of stuff on Futurama. So I missed some because it was both of our computer. We used to like set up days. Monday, Tuesday, Monday, we practice in there, but dog, it's not my thing, dog. It's not. But Zumfundo was kept excelling, bro. He just sounding better. He sounded better and better. His stuff sucked. I was like, you know what, let me leave this nigga. Let me give him the space so he can be the best that he can be. Man, let me focus on, I'll see where else I'll fit in. Let me write more, whatever. But the one thing that I always noticed in those days, because this is like high school, grade 11 matric, all the ciphers, everyone was a rapper. Everyone wants to rap. Everyone is Talib Kweli or Nas or Jay-Z or, you know what I mean? Everybody's like that. And then it gets to the part of the song where, like, it's the hook now. And in those days, there weren't many rappers who were doing their own hooks.
Yeah.
We had
You needed to get a
hook man. I feel good Tyrese. Yeah. I feel good
serenade the shit out of that thing.
And Munushama, Vesiga, and Jalanjal. So whenever we got to that point, we were always stuck. They'd be like, nah, my other nigga can sing. I'll call him. He'll come and he'll do whatever. Or there'd be those ugly hooks, just like, yeah, me and niggas, we don't play around, yo. And like, it's like no one wants to listen to that, dog. Like, even if your verse is the dopest. So, in my mind, I was like, maybe that's my point. That's where I can come in. So I was like, okay, let me try focus on that. So whenever people would come, when they all rushing to write a verse, I was like, let me do the hook. Whoa, that's dope, dog. Okay, next song. You see, yo, who's that guy?
Singing.
It's damn, okay, I've got this now. When it comes to hooks, I'm better than all these niggas right now. And getting silent,
you always knew how to evolve according to your environment, dog.
I was getting so that's how I've just, me as an artist, you know, like versus, like I'm still, I won't call myself, I'm not a hook man, I'm not a rapper, I don't know what to call it, like I don't even think we should make like categorize things.
At Palmtree Paradise, did you guys have roles that who does that, you doing that, or was it just like
and it ended up being like soldered into my DNA, this thing, I'm a hook, to the point where like I've worked on it so much and I've paid so much attention to it, and almost religiously, bro. I don't want to lie to you, like going back to the books, I was watching Drink Champs, Lil Wayne recently.
Dope episode.
Lil Wayne, no, it wasn't Drink Champs. I was watching Manny Fresh. Wayne. Manny Fresh. When he first came, it's yo, dog. When Wayne's parents brought this nigga over to me, he was age grade 5, but he was in grade 8 at the time. He was 3 grades above.
What is age?
That's it, damn shit. Don't teach you face. No wonder this nigga shoots yonke look. Because we actually might would say what the problem now is that he's in grade 8, he's a grade 5. He's the shortest nigga there. Even worse, he's the smartest nigga here, and he knows he's the smartest nigga here. So no one wants to be this nigga's friend. Instead, they bully him, they put his face in the toilet or whatever. But through hip hop, wabonis khala ukuthi yo, naku la ngena khona mina ku society. So he went into that, and he just devoted. When Manny talks about work ethic, work ethic, when he used to get to studio, when he used to leave, how he used to construct his verses, the amount of times he used to overdo his verses so that he can be the best on the song. If he feels like he's not the best on the song, it's fine, guys, go, I'll stay behind, I need to work on it again, scratch it, let's start again, type of thing. Work ethic, the respect that he showed to a craft, Then they show Hot Sticks Mabuza Golente M Studios, all mutual. When everything is gone, all you're gonna have left is your craft. So respect your craft. So through that, dog, yo, man, I need to study this thing, dog. I need to study. I need to know it inside out. And I also had this thing in my mind, I'm catching up, because for the first 12, 13 years of my life, I never listened to any hip hop at all.
So you had a whole backlog that.
So in me kept playing catch up was now I used to. Even now, I'm boring to some people because like I don't listen to music anymore. I study it. You know, when I listen to a song, I'm listening like, yo, what's nice about this song? Like, why is this song better than the song that played before it? Why
Yeah.
are people gravitating towards this song? The way you said that, like, it's become very
and if
Weird,
you
but
if
like-
you look at like songs, like if you look at songs that are intended to do well on the biggest charts in the world, which is the billboards,
yeah.
most of those songs, the way they're constructed, it's
Yeah.
planned. They structured in such a sense that we almost 80% sure that this is going to be a smash hit.
Dog, music is a weapon, bruh. Like, it's a weapon of mass destruction. A song can start a war.
True.
A song can end a war.
Jerusalem.
Music, and like, think of it now before, when music was still starting, 1930, before CDs or whatever, when music was just like this organic thing. That's when people used to see the actual power of music, because it wasn't just a consumer product, it was a part of life. Yeah, but now it's become more of a consumer product. But then it was a part of life. So the people who had that understanding of the power of music, they scrutinized it the same way that I tried to scrutinize it, but they went even further, because these are like scientists. So since the 40s and 50s, music has been scientifically broken down as to this is what people gravitate towards. This is what is harsh to an ear. This is what is nice to an ear. This is what makes you remember. This is what makes you feel happy. This is what makes you feel sad. So now it's 2020, 60 years later, computers, etc. Believe me, dog. There's a formula, and it's scientific. It's crazy, but like, yeah, dog.
Now I'm starting to understand, like, future Ram. Like, because for me, more than anything, I always wonder, why do local artists want to focus on delivering their craft in English, solely in English? There's nothing wrong with delivering your art in English. And if that's your medium of communication from birth, like, I mean, your grandparents speak that, your parents speak that, then by all means. But like, if you have an advantage of or access to another language, you have a very powerful weapon at your hands. Because not only can you connect universally because you are fluent in English, but you can also bring in that element which is different. Like, there's not a lot of people who purposely focus on singing in 2 different languages or 3 different languages in one song and still make it beautiful art that connects with the right people and the right audience.
Hey,
And all those things. You drop something.
yeah. Oh.
So when you say you study this thing and you recognize that it's a science, for me it resonates, because when I think about the music that you make, it makes sense. And I then understand why I connect with your music. Is that the case in your music, that you are purposely creating it for it to engage with the necessary people that you intended to?
I am trying very hard to do that.
Yeah.
I won't say I'm doing that just yet. Yabo? Isakhula. I'm still trying to learn. I'm trying to improve. I've learned something completely new about myself musically just 2 weeks ago. That in my 15 years, being in and around music and studio, that I didn't know about myself, or that I just hadn't tried. Just to give you an idea of how big this sphere of music is. I learned something about me, not about you, about me. I learned something about me that I feel like is gonna change everything that I do musically 2 weeks ago. So I'm trying very hard to do that.
Yeah.
My intention is to do that by just making people listen to music for a reason. Yeah, bro. It's to satisfy something. Yeah, bro. Or if people are captivated by music without going to it, it's for a reason. It's because that satisfies something, that clicks a switch in your head. Not a lot of the time, all the time, it's emotional. Emotion, there's two faces to it. There's the words, very important. Words, like I don't have to explain the power of words to you. We all listen to music, we know how words
If you're listening to this,
us.
you should know the power of words.
Aware. Then there's the melody. Yeah, bro. Church doesn't exist without hymns. If there was no hymns, there are many churches that exist even now that rely slowly on guitars and the sense a rhythm, a sound, a motion, or
That
then
vocal
say, okay,
expression.
next song is begin, but it doesn't exist, yabo. So that's where the melody comes in now, yabo. So that's my understanding of music, and like sometimes rapping hurts that for me, you know. I mean, I can't sing like Kenny Letson, can't sing like Trey Songz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can sing like me though.
Yeah.
You know, I can sing like me though, and I can say things the way that they relate to me and people like me. And people like me are South Africans who I'm in and around every day, be it like the richest person you've ever met, ministers, or be it the guy who sells weed in Jondo. Yeah, well,
Sorry, we just had a
Afro's break. It's for family.
a surprise guest walking on set.
Afros is a family environment.
Yes, you heard you first.
Yeah, man. So me, I'm a reflection of. You can ask. I'm sure that's one thing that my friends will say they don't like about me. Owuthi, I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm everywhere. I want to be around everyone. Same reason how I told you, I get inspiration from the guy washing the car over there. That's the thing in my life, bro. I want to be around a different environment so that I can be, what's the word? I don't want to say stimulated. Hey, it's just against it, guys.
Triggered.
Not triggered. Okay.
Inspired.
Inspired. That's like, I want to be around different people who think differently, because that's what inspires me, being around people. So that's the fuel, dog. In me, the musical machine, that's PDA, PDogg Amazing, public displays of affection. Music is emotion, public displays of affection. That's what drives me. I just want to show, especially South African, especially African. I love whatever is overseas, it's cool, but as a person who was born here, who eats here, who craps here, who does everything here, I have to have some sort of loyalty to here, you know what I mean? And for me, that translates in showing pride in here, young thought. Showing pride in what we do. We matter. And we matter a lot. Like, no offense to any other country, but like, my South Africans, I need sauce in dog.
Bro.
I need shuburu pum in yabo. But man, Jay, we're
sleeping
we're
on
falling into the trap of being like sucked in now to the machine. Because that's the one thing we never speak about when we have like conversations about
Like these,
musical
even like
creation.
these conversations.
Yeah, we never talk about Soguti. As much as you can try constructing music, music out there that is meant to hit, is formulated in a certain way for people to like it, there is still a machine behind it before any of the creation happens. The simplest example of the machine is the wax song that you really hate that's playing on TV all the time. That's the machine. It's not creative in any way possible, but because it's a very well-oiled, expensive, experienced machine pushing this thing, you can't avoid it. Yeah, bro. So this side of the creative and the butterfly landed on my nose and I made up a song about it and everyone likes it, that doesn't count for shit. 95% of the time, I want to rule out the other 5% because sometimes
Yeah.
but we've all been to school, we've all been assessed. No one passes on 5%.
True.
So you can't gamble on 5% your whole life. Yeah, bro? You can't gamble on that 5% and would say, I'm going to be. No one even goes to the casino with a 5% gamble. Who knows it's a 5% gamble? All the people who know those odds don't go to the casino.
True.
The people who are there, the ones believe it, nah, man, they're lying. I know there's a more of a chance, you know? You can't gamble on 5%. So I go and say, very backbone, and they'll take you and you'll be famous and we'll never
they're
forget
gonna love you.
No, bruh, like you actually have to humble yourself, you know, which is what I'm trying to do. Sometimes I don't take my own advice. I make mistakes, I fuck up, I do things that I regret, but I always try to be humble towards music. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I just wanna like learn it, man. Like it's that much a part of my life now, man. I just wanna know more about it, and then there's another realization now that or sometimes don't speak about it. I just wanna know it. I just wanna realize it. Music's not about me. I'm told. Music is about everybody who listens to it. I'm told. Music is me stepping into a car and my song is playing.
Hey, where?
You know what I mean? It's not about me. It's about how the next person gets it, yabo. So I'm trying as hard as I can to communicate to the people who are listening to the music, especially African people, and then now all the other people. Ish, I have ideas all the time. I want to talk about 10 things at the same time, but I'm trying my hardest. Another thing that people don't understand is like the whole world is looking at us.
True. And
They don't want to see you copying them.
listen, it's only a matter of time before what we have
Yeah.
is taken and other people make something out of it. And then now we become the consumers of that.
It happens all the
Because
time, dog.
that's
It
what
happens
we
why
we're
you think
comfortable
people
with.
don't like Beyonce? Because the first time in history, on a mass scale, there are a lot of people who can see it. Yo, man, somewhat of what she's doing is taking us for a ride, bro.
Yeah.
You know? But why don't you take yourself for a ride, bro? Why does someone else have to take you for a ride before you understand that you a ride, dog? You know? That you a ride yourself. So instead of understanding that, and it's that thing we were talking about earlier, with people like to complain, they don't like to act. You're going to complain about the ride, but you can't switch your mind to appreciate that you the ride. You the ride. So ride yourself. But they'll put all the energy to sing Beyonce, fuck, Beyonce, Beyonce. And 5%, a little bit of that energy will go towards.
Like
None of that energy will go towards you, Gavin, what's yo, dog. I'm actually the ride, dog. But people will be focused on it, what's yo, I'm being taken for a ride. And so I'm trying to understand my ride, that I'm a ride, dog. And I try to understand the people who I'm around. That's why I like being around people as well. It's I don't know. I don't want to call it a gift, but like I'm able to I just like making people feel good about themselves, bruh. I like making, especially other artists, I like making them feel good about themselves. I like appreciating them. Like if you go on my timeline on Twitter, anyway, if you look at how I speak, if you ask me about the last song I told you about, I'm telling you about my people. And when I'm with them in studio, I try to make them understand how important, how
you were telling us
actually
about Trap Boy.
You see what I'm trying to say? Like
I didn't even know about Trap Boy. I only know it from you.
Like
I know him from you.
The most talented, dog. That guy. I one day is one day. So, dog, like that's all that I'm trying to do, man. I'm just trying to make like people understand that, yo, dog, what you doing is dope, and tune into your ride, dog. Like tap into that. You the ride, dog. Like tap into that, and once you tap into that and you're proud of that and you're able to show it to everybody like the way you show it to me, when the mic is off and no one's watching and the flash isn't here, that's when you're gonna understand. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, when this thing comes on and that thing comes on and that thing comes on, then you don't get them anymore. It's not them
They disappear.
anymore,
They fall
dog.
to the background.
Yeah, bro. So I'm just all about that, bro. And I believe in that, and it's made me stand out thus far. and I'm gonna get better at it.
Yeah.
And I want to work with other people who feel like passionate in music as I do, bro. I relate to people like that,
Yeah.
like birds of a feather, like especially like young, and even females. I'm disappointed with females in this industry. I'm disappointed because
Why?
they like there's a lot of complaining about like females are not like included and stuff, and like no one works with them, and they don't get booked. And I understand that it's like a dangerous planet, like it's dangerous for girls to just be like going around to people and it's like, yo, I'm coming to your studio session or whatever the case may be. But like everyone like has a track record. You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, my track record is dope of working with people. So when I put out a post saying, yo, can people come hit me up? And I post my number online. Yo, it's my number, my private, hit me up. Especially ladies, you know, I make it, yo,
Yeah.
especially please, you know, I'm trying to work with women, you know what I mean? Not sexually,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But as an appreciator, I've appreciated the power of women in music.
Bro.
Yeah, bro.
Bro.
Tina, we're there because we're bullies. But the ones who can really do this thing is the women. You understand? Tina, we're there in music predominantly as men because we're bullies. But the people who are going to actually do this thing, who tap into things, Nati, are women. Yeah, bro. So in my pursuits too, I need to work with women. So when I put out my number, like I expected like at least Tunya and yo, PDogg, hey, what it is, let's do it. You know what I mean? I didn't get a response. I got a response from one chick.
Yeah.
Bro. But like, do a big event and don't put a girl on there and then watch them complain. Yo, this is the industry. It's not an industry. It doesn't start when the gig starts and end when the gig ends. All of what is in between, the studio meetings, the podcasts, the conversations when you meet on the road, WhatsApp, inbox, commenting on your work that you've done, you commenting on mine. It's a web. And if you're not part of that web, don't cry when and this is not about chicks, like everyone.
It's about everyone.
Everyone. Don't cry. If you're not part of that web, don't cry when the spiders are eating the carcass here and you're not there. Yeah, dog. If you want to be a spider, you gotta move like a spider, dog. You can't move like a cockroach, dog, and stay in one spot. You know? Yeah.
You gotta create a network for yourself that allows you to
like,
move.
girls, hit me up. Like I actually wanted to do like a project where it's just like me and women.
Yeah.
Bella.
And like really dope artists.
And music that you're not expecting. Because at the same time, we also have this thing where we know what a song with the girl sounds like. You know, the guy comes, yo, I'm the man, yo. And then the girl comes, oh my God, you know, and the song ends and, nah, dog, I don't want to make songs like that, dog. I want to make songs that like speak the truth, you know?
Shit, we're running out of time, bro. You also have to bounce.
Eish.
Just like before we kill it off, I wanna ask you something that relates to you. You also affected by this. As an artist, gigs are closed, so that means money. There's forms of making money or usual forms which you guys could make money. They down.
Okay.
As we saw artists taking to the streets the other day. I just wanna get your opinion on this whole matter and what you think and how you feel and possibly what would you like to see happen going forward.
All over. Faithful. That thing was dope. It was mad dope. So dope that I was disappointed when, like, I was disappointed I wasn't part of it. You know, I always imagined myself being somewhere near the front when things like that happen. And I make a point to be there all the time. If I'm not starting it, I'm near the front. So that thing is dope. Health though, yabo. Whatever we say, we gotta think about like health. You know, like if we're not 100% sure about it, and people are gonna die, the same people who are gonna who were saying feed the industry, the same people who we cater to, who keep the industry alive, the same people who make sure what they consuming. If we're gonna put them in jeopardy, then we can't say that we care about them for the sake of I'm a target it. At the same time, as powerful as music is, film, poetry, TV, fine art, the person who made this thing, artist, the people who make this food, artists, as powerful as those things are and as crucial as they are to life as we know it, we should be able to be just to them, yabo. Just means fair, yabo. But sadly, we don't live in a fair planet, yabo. So, hey man, I think like right now, it's gonna be very difficult for us to assert ourselves as artists towards what we want and how we want to be treated. But it's almost the same as I always compare it to racism. This thing, Leandro, I'm an artist. It's the same thing as racism, bro. For no good reason, a portion of the people are being treated differently to the other portion of the people.
When they make the
when
same
they do
or equal.
a lot of the work that contributes to the people even working. I always compare it to racism. So with that said, you look at this movement now, Black Lives Matter, the way it's developing, I like it, because for once it's showing momentum. People are making sure that they don't forget. Recently, the other guy died. The NBA dudes were like, yo, we ain't playing. You know what I mean? Then the NFL was like, yo, we ain't playing either. So you can see there's some continuity, and knowing these guys and how they think, these basketball dudes, they're proud of who they are as black people, and they're going to continue this fight. Why? They can make an impact because now they're in a position of privilege. Everybody was waiting for the playoff, and they were like, okay, we're not going to play the playoff. It was like, what? Why not? Because Black Lives Matter.
Absolutely.
So right now as artists, we're not going to be able to do much to change the way that things are. But there's going to be a time when the playoff is about to happen and everybody's waiting for the playoff to happen. And that's when people or artists will show their true colors. And that's when you'll really see if artists really do want to be saved or they don't, bro. They're just going with whatever will drive them at that time. Which is, I don't know, I can't respect that. If they really are about changing their situation, when the playoff is waiting here, that's when they will say, yep, we haven't forgotten. Kuje.
We need to fix that.
Longisani. Longisani. But that's just the rich guys, about Tiran. That doesn't include you and me, right? We're talking about them. Because I'm not making 100K a year.
Yeah, we're not the ones being paid
at the moment.
At the moment.
We also have to talk about people like me and you. Lockdown didn't change anything for us.
Yeah.
We didn't lose out. We lost. Nah, dog. Nah, dog. You capping. That's cap. You weren't performing. If you had that performance, you got drunk, you spent the money in 3 days. We now need to go back to the same truth. We're talking about, do we really want to exist as artists now, who are not yet famous? Because it's not only famous people, artists who must exist. America, they're thriving.
They're getting the show, the pie.
They're living. Tina ayikho leyo nto ngala. So Tina, we need to look inside also as well and ask ourselves, do we really want to save ourselves? Do we really want to exist or do we want to complain? Because complaining is easy, dog.
Yeah.
And it looks cool, looks like you're very passionate about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And doesn't mean shit. If we really about, helping ourselves, we'll start researching how to make money online. We'll start researching what our streams mean. We'll start researching who our target markets are. We'll start selling our music and introducing to our music to our neighbors. Umakilwane.
Yes.
The person you borrow sugar from. We will start introducing our music to our neighbors. And I don't know if they're ashamed of it, because that's what it looks like. If I was in court and I was a lawyer, I'd say, yo, he's ashamed of his music. He can't even play it for his makelwane. This is not an artist. No Jaja Shaya, bah, out. We're not doing that, man. We're not doing that. So, aslula ma basic amaningi. The most biggest one, hard work, humility. Hard work, humility. Forget about you. Ish. That's the guy also workshop lo ushaya mahlaya lapha.
Yeah.
Unomuzi dog.
Mnand.
Ugrand dog. Umvumile futhi ngakubo. He makes them happy. He brightens up their day. You know what I mean? And he some of his art is done lapha at workshop. You know, and this subject has been covered before on this podcast. I've watched it before. So it's not even just that. We are the new workshop. We're the new spaces like that.
Yeah.
With our creativity, our intellect, and that hunger. Because hunger breeds intellect. Hunger breeds intellect. There's no such thing as a smart person. There's only a person who wants it really bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you want it really bad, find the new spaces like that. Put ourselves out to Abantu and the people we want to, you know, take our music out to. Help your neighbor. Hold ourselves accountable. PDogg, you know, hold ourselves accountable and make that normal. You know,
True,
it's
true.
normal. I mustn't be angry at you for yo nigga. What have you done? What are you doing, dog? You know what I mean? Make that normal. Then we can start sharing information, the tricks. Watching more on YouTube, University of YouTube, enrolling. I know how to mix now during lockdown. I know how to edit videos and get locked down.
Shit.
You know what I mean? Lockdown saved me in many ways. You know, if you ask me now, yo, if you were to rewind, what would you do?
What-
It's going to be very difficult for me to say, no, nah, scrap lockdown, let life continue the way it was. Because the amount of humility and hunger that led to my education that I received is too much. Yeah,
It's priceless. You wouldn't have found the time.
I wouldn't have found it, dog.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have found it. I wouldn't have bonded with my family. I wouldn't have met the people who I've met. I wouldn't have gained an appreciation of the people who I now appreciate. I wouldn't have formed the bonds. I wouldn't have found it, man. So yeah, man, those are the questions we need to ask ourselves, dog. And then if you're
Yeah.
really about it, like people should complaining should be shunned in society. If you're a person who complains, people must throw tomatoes at you,
Koto,
bruh.
it's Koto, yeah. Like I
There it
always
goes
say,
again.
about if you see a complaint, okay, fine, that's identifying a problem. But then, just as much as you have the energy to complain, have the energy to see that a solution is found to that problem.
Yeah.
Because if there's no solution, it will forever be a problem. Therefore, you will forever complain. So instead of focusing on the complaining, find solutions.
I know, but they see themselves getting better at complaining. And they're like, wow, I'm good at this
Kumnandi.
thing.
PDogg, angeke siqede ngelanga elilodwa.
Nah,
You're still going to live.
Yeah.
And that means you still are going to be a guest on the GNPS. I'd just like to thank you for taking your time. I know you're supposed to be in studio, by the way.
Yeah.
I won't let you spill the pins unless if you want to on what you're working on.
I'm just working with everyone, man. I'm working with 10 people.
Hash hash. Otherwise, thank you for joining us on this episode. PDogg, you can give our audience your social media handles,
Yo.
YouTube, whatever it is that you're doing.
Aware, it's PDogg Amazing. Please say they're amazing. It's PDA, Public Displays of Affection. If you want to catch me, Palmtree_PDA. Yes, I'm the guy from Palmtree Paradise. These are the things I like. So it's Palmtree PDA across everything. On Facebook, though, it's my government, Pumlan Klagaza. I'll try to be as me as I can on Facebook. Pumlan Klagaza on Facebook. Yeah, that's it, guys.
Check out the Futuramas Part 1 right up until 4.
Futurama Part 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there's new music coming. And I'm not sure how much more new music will be coming, but just keep it up. Just keep listening to local. Be the change you want to see in the society that you live in. Keep listening to GNPS. Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. And besides subscribing, man, just tell a friend, you know.
Yeah.
Word of mouth is still the most powerful tool.
Shout out PDogg. Thank you to all the returning subscribers and to the new ones. Thank you for joining us. Stay here. This platform is strictly designed for you. You're not at the wrong place. And I'd like to thank Afro's Chicken for availing the space for us to be here. You'll be seeing a lot of these from here and in and around any Afro's Chicken shops. So look out for us wherever we are. This is our way of taking the podcast to the people. PDogg ushilo ukuthi fanele uphume mawenza into yakho abantu bengazi ngayo. You need to get out into spaces, let people see you. So this is what we're doing. Otherwise, thank you for coming in. Catch us next time. Follow me on Instagram at general_Nginiela, on Twitter at general_Ngini. You can follow the podcast and watch the snippets. So if you want to hour and ufuna ukubona isiphethe, check out the snippets on GNPS_podcast. Shout out to Tiny behind the camera at tinyfilms_. Shout out to Sanele_Kwabe. He's also out here. It's been real. Peace.
Peace out.